Inflation is a term frequently mentioned in economic discussions and news reports, yet it's a concept that often seems abstract to many. At its core, inflation is the general increase in prices and fall in the purchasing value of money. But what does this mean for individuals, businesses, and the economy as a whole? Imagine you're at the grocery store. You notice that the price of bread has increased from what you paid just a month ago. This is a direct illustration of inflation. Over time, as prices increase, the same amount of money buys less than it used to. The measure of inflation is the rate at which the average price level of selected goods and services in an economy increases over a period. Several factors can cause inflation. One primary driver is demand pull inflation, which occurs when demand for goods and services exceeds supply. Essentially, when too many dollars chase too few goods, prices rise. Conversely, cost-push inflation happens when the costs to produce goods and services increase, thereby forcing businesses to raise prices in order to maintain profit margins. Another factor can be monetary inflation, which results from an increase in the money supply. When central banks print more money, it can reduce the currency's value relative to goods and services, thus causing inflation. The impact of inflation can be far-reaching. For consumers, it means diminished purchasing power as every dollar spent buys less than it did before, thus compelling consumers to adjust their spending habits. For businesses, inflation can increase operating costs, but it can also provide an opportunity to increase prices and, potentially, profitability. On a broader scale, inflation affects the entire economy. Moderate inflation is considered normal and even beneficial in some cases, as it can encourage spending and investing, thus stimulating economic growth. However, hyperinflation, an extremely high and typically accelerating inflation rate, can lead to economic collapse by eroding the real value of the local currency, leading to loss of confidence among consumers and investors. Governments and central banks employ several strategies to control inflation. These methods include adjusting interest rates, which influence the money supply, and employing policies to decrease government spending or increase taxation to cool off an overheated economy.